Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Mechanics of Poetry. You could call this our second season. The first 18 episodes were all group discussions of poetic topics. And I've had another idea I've alluded to a little bit in the past, and that is that I wanted to do some one-on-one poetry to really delve into and look closely at the poems by a poet, to showcase the poet and, get us all into poetry even more than we already are. So today is the first of those second season episodes, and we've got poet Jackie Chou with us, who's going to share 3 of her poems one at a time so that we can look at each one. And you can say whatever you like to start off, Jackie. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Don. It's always wonderful to be here. I'm going to go ahead and share my poems. Okay, the first one is relatively short. It's a new poem I've just written recently. It's called Stagnant. You're 70% dihydrogen monoxide, dark and stinking of the alleyways, like day-old rain puddles. I'm sinking, my boat paper thin and without oars. The seagull in me still dreaming of wings to save itself.
All right. Oh, this is a great poem to start off the series with. It's a short poem. There's a lot we can say about it. Like number one, when I read that first stanza, it reminded me of advice that I received way back in 1981 when I was 21 and a student at Cal State LA trying to get published in Statement magazine. And I had already sent in some poems to the editor that year, and the editor rejected them and sent me a letter saying you had no business writing poetry, which really, that cut me like a knife. And I really wanted to write poetry, and I was still doing it anyway, but I also wanted to get published. So I got some friends' advice, and one was very interesting. One was, if you can include one word in the poem that is a word that's not commonly known. And I remember in mine, I used a word to mean sky, welkin. Welkin is a word most people don't know that means sky, right? The vault of heaven. And you've got a word in here, dihydrogen. It's not a commonly known word. I saw that and I'm like, okay, what is dihydrogen? Does that mean 2 hydrogens? I don't even know. Bihydrogen, dihydrogen. So it's an intriguing word. And it's just one of them. If the poem was littered with these words, people might think it was just a vocabulary exercise, but it's not. It's not. This is an essential word. You're 70% dihydrogen monoxide. And now that I think about it, that means water. So it is 2 hydrogen molecules.
Yes.
And 1 oxygen, right? That's monoxide.
Yeah.
I figured it out. And I'm not even a science major.
Yeah, and I'm sorry about what that person said to you back then.
Oh yeah, well, hey, it was fuel. It was fuel. Just like they told LeBron he's not a top player anymore. Well, he's going to change their minds in the new basketball season.
Yeah.
All right, I went left to field there. Let me go back to the poem.
Okay.
All right, so obviously you have a little science knowledge there. If you can say dihydrogen monoxide, right?
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
A little bit, just very little science background.
Yeah. I have less. And going into the second stanza, though, this takes a real turn. It harkens back more to the title, dark and stinking of the alleyways like day-old rain puddles. And that's just visually interesting, right? It's got the dichotomy of something that you might think is pretty and something that is not, right? Alleyways are not necessarily pretty, and puddles can be thought of in a childish, fun way. And you put it together, you juxtapose them, right? It's like an oxymoron in that sense. dark and stinking of the alleyways like day-old rain puddles. So, oh, but they're day-old rain puddles, so they're not fresh. Yeah, so you obviously consciously brought some stagnation in. Makes me want to keep going. I'm sinking my boat paper thin and without oars. Now this one, this stanza is, so far this poem, every stanza has a reward for the reader, right? Each stanza contributes something to the poem, and it's getting more interesting as we go along. This third one is giving me a sense of catharsis, right? That I'm starting to feel for you here. I'm sinking my boat paper thin and without oars. Wow, that's pretty problematic. Okay, makes me want to know how it's going to conclude. And this ending is very uplifting, literally and figuratively. The seagull in me still dreaming of wings to save itself. So you're not saved yet, but the dream is there. Did I hit the nails on the head here? What do you think?
Yes, it's a very thoughtful analysis. I myself am not even able to come up with what you said about my own poem. So I'm really, I think what you said was very insightful, and I appreciate that.
Well, you're an extremely polite poet. I'll say this, you know, I've been reading your poetry for years now, so I know that you got some talent here. And let's showcase another one of your poems. Go ahead and do the second one.
Okay, the second one is forthcoming in Alien Buddha zine. It's called Creature.
Yeah.
Creature. I cringe at your touch, spikes under your soft-spoken words, pricks of sharp objects, like thistles, knives, shards of broken glass. How I shrink away from you, porcupine man, no symbol of what you are marked on your forehead.
Uh-oh.
I have to go to the next page.
Yeah. There we go.
You hide in the shadows, sneak out when I most need a hand. A black hook there instead, lethal by mere contact.
Oh, wow. This is a fun poem too. Could
Okay,
I see the start of the poem again?
To the beginning?
Yeah,
Yes.
back to the start. Yeah, because I'm gonna have some questions for you on this poem.
Okay.
I do have some questions. I personally love a poem that has a one-word title. That's one of my favorite things, a one-word title. You know, it doesn't waste time. It doesn't give it all away, but it's a major clue. That's what a title should do. It should be a major clue. Okay. But the whole puzzle isn't solved in the title. Like if you call this poem "I Cringe at Your Touch,"
okay.
That would not be as mysterious as calling it creature.
Okay.
Yeah,
so creature could be both literal and figurative. That's why I chose that for a title.
Yeah, that's very, very good. I cringe at your touch, spikes under your soft-spoken words. So there is that marvelous gift of figurative language that you have. You're able to come up with these really synesthetic images, right? It has both the visual and the physical, right? Spikes are physical. Pricks of sharp objects like thistles, knives, shards of broken glass. It really gets across how dangerous touching this creature is. Yeah. Okay. And the second stanza is the one that intrigues me so much. I mean, it really makes me want to ask the question. First line, no problem. How I shrink away from you, right? That's keeping the theme going. And then you repeat. This is where I get thrown off. Porcupine man, porcupine man. Why do you say it twice?
To emphasize it, I think. To give away the clue that it's about a person. And a person that I personally know.
Yeah, and you know, I just realized while you were explaining that repeating porcupine man also is kind of a musical quality.
Okay.
It could be like a song in your head. How I shrink away from you, porcupine man, porcupine man.
Hmm.
Could be a
Okay.
song. Yeah.
Right.
Bob
I'll
Dylan, you got a
take
song
that.
called Porcupine Man? Yeah, that'd be a great title. No
Yeah.
symbol of what you are marked on your forehead. And that's intriguing too, because I just read Porcupine Man, so I'm thinking of this man who's dangerous to touch, but there is nothing there to give you that indication, right? It looks like, I'm guessing, an ordinary man.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to get across. That's the image.
Yeah, fabulous, fabulous, which leads us to the final stanza,
Okay.
the one that, does it solve the mystery? Let's see. You hide in the
Uh-huh.
shadows, sneak out when I most need a hand, and that is really a great line. That's one of my favorite lines in the whole poem. Because this,
Okay.
it's the emotional part, right? It's the emo
Mhm.
part. But then that final image, wow, a black hook there instead of lethal by mere contact. So this spikiness is even more dangerous than we thought, because it could
Hmm.
kill you. It could end your life. Am I barking up the right tree there?
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
You definitely hit the nail on the head. Everything you said is true about the poem, and you're very capable of interpreting the poem
Oh,
beyond its words.
I'm trying, but I've seen a lot of poems in my day, so I'm feeling semi-capable.
Okay. Yes.
I was going to say one more thing, and that
Uh-huh.
is another beautiful thing about poems. When I'm reading a poem by Jackie Chou here, and I read that, and when you read a poem, it's possibly the best way to get an idea for a poem is to read a
Hmm.
poem. I'm
Hmm.
reading this poem, and it makes me think of all the dangerous people I've ever known. And I
Definitely.
start thinking, do I want to write a poem about that dangerous person? So that's really inspirational, right? You're
Oh,
not
thank
you're not
you.
just purging your own demons, you're helping others find their
Yeah.
demons.
Yeah.
Which
So it
brings us
should
to the
be a
last
bit.
poem, right?
Okay.
Okay.
The last poem is also forthcoming in Alien Buddha zine. It's called You Come Back in One Piece.
Mm.
Your hands, which waved goodbye, now ask for a second chance. But the wind seldom brings people back the way they were after their eyes have glimpsed God's face, their souls scooped out of their bodies and put back. I can never understand you completely. All those years I pretended to let you pull me into your dark water. I was only swimming in the shallows. Now the trees are singing of your homecoming as a different person, a tattered, stuffed dog whose tears are all stitched up.
Wow. Well,
This is an earlier poem.
I'm going to say something maybe you don't want to hear.
Uh-huh.
I think you saved the best one for last.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I remember bringing this poem to a workshop, and people were a little bit confused, not knowing what exactly it was about. I was wondering if the message is clear to you without me having to explain it, because we're not supposed to explain our poetry.
And the
It's
reason we
really
don't is because usually these poems have to stand on their own. You're not around to explain it, right?
right.
If somebody buys your book or sees it on a website. All right, I'll
Yeah.
tell you this.
Uh-huh.
This title is the refutation of what I just finished saying. I love one-word titles, but this title
Uh-huh.
is intriguing. You come back
Hmm.
in one piece. It's like this title is telling a story.
Hmm.
Makes me want to know the story.
Okay.
Your hands, which waved goodbye, now ask for a second chance. Okay, story is set up. But the wind seldom brings people back the way they were. That is Marva's philosophy. It reminds me of a friend I had in college at Cal State LA all those years ago. And
Hmm.
she was an older poet. She told me, you want to be a good poet? Study philosophy. She was right.
Okay.
The wind seldom brings people back the way they were. That's really good. After their eyes have glimpsed God's face, even better. Their souls scooped out of their bodies and put back. Oh my God, this is awesome, right? An out-of-body experience reading your poem. I can never, and then it, it goes into some other detail. I can never understand you completely, right? That adds another piece to the puzzle. All those years I pretended to let you pull me into your dark water. I was only swimming in the shallows. Now that's also a contrast. Those first couple lines there, all those years I pretended to let you pull me into your dark water, made me think of the creature in the other poem. But then you said I was only swimming in the shallows. That is interesting. That to me is the most interesting line so far. That it says so much. And it's a contrast to that, the depth of that pool. You didn't go in so deep, so it's not so bad, maybe. Well, the last stanza will be the conclusive proof. Now the trees are singing of your homecoming. Well, as a different person, a tattered stuffed dog whose tears are all stitched up. Wow. So this is change. This person has changed, or they've been through something.
Yeah. It was actually inspired by the idea of somebody having attempted suicide and got saved and came back. So, but nobody in the workshop got it. So I felt like it was a weakness of the poem because that didn't come through.
I'm going to try to help you.
Okay.
Because this poem comes so close. It really does. I mean, now that you say that, I'm looking at, eyes glimpse God's face and all that. Oh, it makes sense now. So all you need is an itsy bitsy clue. Let's see. I put it up toward the beginning. Let's see. Well, what you have right now is a pretty gentle beginning. Your hands just wave goodbye, now ask for a second chance. That's pretty gentle. It's just like a relationship problem, but this is more than just a relationship problem. So maybe instead of using the word waved, another word that would be more violent. I mean, what I think of right away is something like your hands which knifed goodbye. Some people cut themselves. So that would be a major clue, but it wouldn't be a dead giveaway. Oh, bad choice of words there.
No, that's fine.
Your hands which knifed goodbye. See, that could still be interpreted. It's not a giveaway.
Okay.
But it really sets up that part about glimpsing God's face. If you connect those two dots, I think you can figure out it was a suicide attempt.
Okay, I get it. That's a good thought. Yeah.
Yes, that's from, no, I'm not a doctor. I only have an MFA. But I
really wish that person who discouraged you from writing poetry could see you and what you're doing today.
Well, this is the start of something. I'm hoping that will be a good thing. I'll tell you this. I want to conclude by letting the world know how they can get to Jackie Chou's poetry. Do you have any poetry published that we can find? Do you have a book coming?
I think you published one of my chapbooks, and also you can find my poems by just going to Google Jackie Chou poetry, and some of the online published publications will come up that have my poems in them.
Yeah, so you're one of the Four Feathers Press poets.
Yeah.
Yeah, published your chapbook. And that was an e-chapbook.
E-chapbook, yes.
Yeah, so if you still have that, if people want to contact you, how can they contact you if they want to order that ebook?
Okay, they can email me or message me on Facebook. I prefer emails. So should I put, no, I'll just give you my
you could put the information on Facebook if you don't want to say it here, either way.
Okay, I'll put it on Facebook.
Yeah, I'll let people find you there. And
Okay.
then they can
Yeah.
get into that. 'Cause
Googling my
believe me,
name is a
people,
good way
believe
to.
me, you
Uh-huh.
want. I'm telling the people, believe me, you want Jackie Chou's poetry. She's one of my favorite poetic discoveries of the past 10 years is definitely Jackie Chou.
Okay.
So
Thank you so much.
get her poetry. Thank you for being the guinea pig, the first poet in this new series.
Okay. So are
And you're
we
going to show
done?
everybody how to close the screen share. Go ahead and close the screen share.
Okay.
And we can see Jackie. There we go. One last time.
So are
Till the
we
next
done
time.
or we have more to talk about?
No, I think this is, keep it succinct. We're focusing on the poetry. We don't want to bore people too much.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I wanted them to be able to reach you. Mission's accomplished. So I'm going to
Thank you so much,
conclude
Don,
this
for all
episode.
you do. Yeah.
Thank you for being a part of it.